At the beginning of this, the clock has already expired. On the left, Rudd throws his helmet while the play is still going on.
Hey guys, what's happening, and welcome back to our channel. There is no worse way to lose a game, match, competition, or a race than by losing it when you're celebrating too early. Time and time again, we're reminded to always stay humble even in the face of victory. In this list, we'll take a look at how some players snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. Number 7, RICARDO Russo. This has happened many times during every category of a race you can think of, no matter the vehicle or the distance. There is every racer who believes that the race is over before it is quite over. Most of the time, racers think they're about to win and celebrate too early just before the finish line, and hence end up not coming first. In this case, however, old Ricky would have preferred this happening over what had happened. Instead of celebrating too early, old Ricky was so caught up in an adrenaline rush, and seemingly so was his team, that they forgot about the final lap. They had just entered the final lap of the race when they completely forgot about it. They thought they had already won the race instead of realizing and focusing that they were a lap away from really winning it. The celebrations continued by the driver as he rode without hands on the wheel for a painstakingly long period during the 2012 CIV Championship in 2012 before he realized that he had just made the worst decision of his career, and he continued racing. He lost his head completely and ended up losing the race.
No, he's punching the air, he's celebrating, I think, and I think this race is still going on here and he hasn't realized.
Number 6, the renowned KHALID ASKARI. One of the more renowned blunders in footballing history. You must have seen this one and laughed, and then shared it with your friends and they laughed as well. It was truly a scene from Shaolin soccer. It was so hilarious. This clip went viral after a while it was recorded and serves as a prime example that you should never celebrate too early and never be cocky during any moment of the game, especially when it isn't over yet. Stay focused all the time as you're playing the game. To give you a bit of context, the striker was preparing to shoot a penalty. Mr. ASKARI at that point was one of the more celebrated keepers in that particular competition. This was made apparent when he stopped an absolute rocket of a shot from going into the net. However, it's important to mention that he failed to notice the ball was still near the net. He went onwards, thumping his chest in victory like a primal gorilla, thinking that the game was won. The striker appealed to the referee, and the referee gave the goal, and he was ecstatic. The same cannot be said, however, for our hero, Mr. ASKARI. Although his reaction in the locker room wasn't visible, we can understand how terrible it must have been. Number 5, slamming the brakes on too early. As alluded to before, this has happened before. A racer celebrating too early and losing the game. What was hilarious about this incident was the fact that he was celebrating despite having very little ground left between the other skaters and himself. It was the 2,000 meters men's final 2010 World Roller Speed Skating Championships, and the winners always won by the smallest of margins. Despite obviously knowing this, Mr. Alex Cujavante decided to throw a few kisses to fans as he slowed down, thanked God, and gestured like he was a gladiator that had just slain a lion. Well, the lion came back to life in the form of the skaters behind him and overtook him to crushingly destroy his dreams of winning the final as he lost the race by a wide margin. Although in his defense, he did have a comfortable lead, he must have thought, along with the other racers, that he was going to be the first to win by a large margin. But of course, there's always a reason why people never win by a wide margin in roller skating championships. This was made painfully obvious once again in this particular race, and a stern reminder to all, if we're to quote Kendrick Lamar, to stay humble.
Celebra, venga, apriete que ahora celebra, mijo, perdió el colombiano, perdió el colombiano, perdió el colombiano.
Number 4, LINDSEY JACOBELLIS. It was the first ever women's snowboarding championship event going to take place. A chance to etch your name in the annals of the history books forever to be the first ever champion. A chance to be an inspiration to every other woman wanting to be a professional snowboarder. Endless coaching jobs and sponsorships awaited Miss Lindsay, and she played it cool as she should have done. But there's also a thing as playing it too cool. In the last jump, to celebrate her victory, when she put a little bit too much effort to make herself look good to the photographers, she stumbled on the fall and fell, losing the race as her competitors overtook her. Number 3, Bad Luck Keep. This was the worst one to watch as it was no one's fault. Although you could blame the keeper a little bit though. In a close sudden death soccer game between the sides Termeno and Dro, the Termeno striker played the ball a bit too hard. It went on and hit the post and the striker was devastated. He fell to the ground like a dramatic damsel in distress as the Dro keeper celebrated as he had just succeeded in killing the hero of the story. All his hard work and aspirations were going to pay off. He ran off on the field and like a backhanded remark from God himself, the ball came down and went into the net. The goal was called and the keeper, well, he must have seen better days. Once again, the ball went so high he must have thought it went away forward, or he wasn't able to see it even though he was still watching it. It was just terrible luck. Maybe there is such a thing as destiny and fate after all. Number 2, never take your armor off until the battle ends. Dwayne Rudd made a great play and stopped Trent Green. He thought he had won it for his team, but this wasn't the case though. The game was still in play when he took off his helmet and, according to reports, threw it in the air in celebration. Unfortunately, he hadn't won yet, and the fans clamored together in laughter as they saw the Browns' star player make a huge blunder.
Has already expired on the left. Rudd throws his helmet while the play is still going on.
Number 1, the OG never celebrate too soon. The play was still on. The game was still on as the ball went through the net and players came on the field with the coach. The ball went back to the opposing team and they scored a 3-pointer to win the game when everyone thought they lost it. And these are a handful of some of the most glaring examples of never celebrating too early in sports. Do let us know which of these was the most ridiculous and made you laugh out loud in the comments section below. And while you do that, go ahead and give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so you can catch up on more awesome content like this in the future. Until next time, take care and goodbye.